There has to be extreme. But by the way, we've got enough at the campaign. There's enough at the RNC to do this. And plus, we've got the muscle. I hate to go back and put it on his shoulders again, but let's go back and put it on his shoulders again. Donald J. Trump. When I say he's the greatest closer in American history, he is the greatest. He's the greatest closer. This is all about you won the deal. Let's close the deal.
But was the tone of his first speech the right tone? No, it was not. But listen, what I said earlier, and I think I told you, he needed to go up, and I said it on the show that morning, he needed to go up between a random number, between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock that night. 10:45 being perfectly. Let's go back in time. 10:45. He had just won Ohio and Florida. Florida with 45%, 47% of the Hispanic vote. Historic participation by African Americans and 12% of African American males. He was winning Iowa by a huge number. He was up by 800,000 votes in Pennsylvania, winning massive margins in Michigan and in Wisconsin. And huge in Georgia and big in North Carolina. That was the time to get up before the 11 o'clock news and tell the nation, I just won a sweeping landslide. It's all MAGA all the time. We're going to take back House seats. I'm holding the Senate, and Bob's your uncle, right? We're going to secure this. Then I would have gone to court immediately with it, asked for injunctions to stop any funky counting. For whatever reason, that didn't happen. The thing at 2:30 in the morning I thought was wrong. You let Biden go first. You didn't set the narrative. Be that as it may, we have the facts, and here are the facts. He won a massive victory on November 3rd. We know that there's massive fraud, and that's why Biden and these guys want to kick the can down the road. The guys who wanted to remember, MSNBC had election season. They said the whole month of November we're going to count. Now they want to hurry up and get it done as quickly as possible. Why? They want to hide their crime. Okay? And this is what we got exposed. The DOJ should be involved there also. People backdating, people voting for the dead. All these names should be identified. The President of the United States is going to go around the country, and I'm going to tell you, that CNN and MSNBC are going to melt down when he does this. The president needs to go out to the American people, make his case. As importantly, he should start Mark Meadows, Peter Navarro, Lighthizer, the team at the White House should immediately begin the second-term administration. I think the firing of Esper, which I've thought for a week, is a great way to kick off the second term. Let's fire some guys, clean some house, and get ready on the afternoon of the 20th of January. We're ready to roll with the right team. Two responses. Number one, I had dinner with somebody who 3 years ago told me he'd worked with Barr at the highest level of the DOJ. Trust him. He's the honey badger. He'll get things done. Yesterday, I invited this man to dinner with his wife to say, has Barr failed us? Has your friend failed you? And when he said yes, I'm prepared to say now in public on my radio show today, Barr has failed America. I don't care what the DOJ does now, Steve, because the DOJ has made itself irrelevant. It's got to be the president, it's got to be the MAGA killers, it's got to be his lawyers. And here's the next part. You call them the hobbits, and you don't mean that derisively. You mean it in the sense of J.R.R. Tolkien's original concept that the inhabitants of the Shire were the people who won World War I. They were the Tommies next to him in the trenches, and that's who he built that whole Middle-earth world around. When people tell me, I can't tell you how many hours I've spent on DMs and messages and you name it, responding to our millions of listeners and viewers. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Very simple. And I've had people actually tell me they're going to do it. I say, get your ass out of the house. Put that red MAGA hat on and protest. I don't care where you are. You don't need to be in Philly. Get out there and scream and shout and show your support. The 71 million people have to. If there's ever been a time to get onto the streets, it's now. And people are now organically organizing themselves across the country. How significant is it, Steve Bannon, that after 4 years of being called first a misogynist, a racist, a xenophobe, an Islamophobe, a white supremacist, and an agent of Vladimir Putin, 4 million more Americans voted for Donald Trump this year than they did 4 years ago?
No, it's unbelievable. You know, you look at the 71 million. This election, even the mainstream media can't spin it as a repudiation of either Trump or Trumpism. Trumpism gains momentum every day, and you see people ready for this fight. I would actually tell your viewers, number one, push out content from shows like this, shows like ours and others. Go to the killer, the Candace Owens, the Charlie Kirks. Here's what you can do right now. be part of the phalanx in the information war. Okay? This is information warfare. It's a psyops move. What you have to do is become a soldier in that. The way you do it is you start absorbing these different sites, start to get the information. We need to knit together the 71 million that did vote. We have to knit them together in one strong column, right? The way you do that is people will start coming out, start connecting by pushing out every piece of social content you can. Number one, the content. Number two is also where you see anything, crowdsource the violations, you see it, and push it to the websites up there, push it to the campaign website. Michael Patrick Leahy and the guys have a website up. There's a half a dozen of these websites. Push it there. You're going to have to do some work. Clearly get out on the streets and protest. But in addition, you should be lighting up your Republican officials. Yes. And what I mean, if you're in a battleground state right now, you should be lighting up the people in the House of Delegates and the state Senate. This is going to come down to, remember, are you going to reverse all these with recounts? That's not the focus. The focus is to delegitimize this and decertify this in the mail-in ballots because they're illegal. Many of the ones that have been certified have to count. The ones that don't have chain of custody and can't be certified do not count.
But when they're commingled, as we've seen in Philadelphia elsewhere, then the whole election has to be redone, no?
Not redone. It's just not certified. Remember, we have a process. The Constitution's a contract.
But when they're commingled with ones that arrived within the constitutional order, and you can't differentiate the good from the bad, how do you know which one to throw